All right, so that's an interesting induction there, Suresh Gopi. This was something that was, of course, expected, that he could, of course, be a part of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's cabinet. Remember, he's an Indian actor, he's a playback singer, he's a television presenter, someone who presented the Malayalam equivalent of Kaun Banega Crorepati, and he's, of course, won a seat from Thrissur for the Bharatiya Janata Party, opening their quota in a key bastion state where the BJP had very little political presence. Suresh Gopi is now going to be a member of the Council of Ministers.
The sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as a Minister of State for the Union, and that I will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution and the law, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. I, Dr. L. Murugan, do swear in the name of God that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person or persons any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as a Minister of State for the Union, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Minister of State.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Loknathan Murugan there, an Indian politician who's, of course, been sworn in again. He has formerly served in the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, and also in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting as a Minister of State. So two key figures from the southern part of India who've been sworn in. He's, of course, a key part of Bharatiya Janata Party's push to try and expand in the state of Tamil Nadu, where Dravidian politics, of course, has dominated for the last 7 decades. And Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, senior journalist, is still with us on this broadcast. Mr. Upadhyay, this, of course, is a pretty big moment in terms of how the BJP wants to take the southern states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu along. We saw Suresh Gopi being sworn in as a member of the Council of Ministers, and also Loknathan Murugan, who's also been sworn in as a member of the Council of Ministers.
Well, these two states have been the Achilles heel of the BJP. They have not been able to make much of an impact. It is considered the North Indian party by the southern states. So they have some resentment about the imposition of Hindi. Also the fact that this is basically dominated by the North Indians. So Prime Minister Modi is making an all-out effort to win over the southern states. BJP has a firm footing in Karnataka, where the last 3 elections they have always had good results, but not in Tamil Nadu or Kerala. So this time he made a concerted effort, repeatedly going and campaigning there, but still he has not been able to open an account for the BJP in Tamil Nadu. But he has succeeded in Kerala, where, as you said, Gopi won from Thrissur. So he's an actor, famous actor there, and for him to get into the union cabinet is a big thing. You see, they have increased the vote share in both the states, which is significant because they were, under 10 points, and now I think in Tamil Nadu they've gone up to 22%, and then in Kerala also about 16-17%. So, which is a big thing considering that these states have always resisted the BJP's entry. One more point I wanted to make is that the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP, the Nationalist Congress Party, has not joined the cabinet. He's not joined the cabinet because he was insisting on a cabinet post, but the BJP said you will only get an MOS post, and he refused. So we have to wait and see. I believe he made a statement, well, if not now, we will try and get it later. I think the dispute was over who should be the cabinet minister. The BJP suggested that it could be Praful Patel, one of the high-profile members of the NCP. But Ajit Pawar was against him being inducted into the cabinet. And that was the reason why It has not happened. So this has been one, discordant note that has emerged during this, swearing-in ceremony.
That's an interesting development. There's never a dull day in Indian politics. It remains to be seen as to what, of course, happens with that NCP faction and how things, of course, pan out there. Now, talking a bit about Suresh Gopi, Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, the fact that he's been elected from Thrissur, he's a former actor, a singer, someone who presented, the Malayalam equivalent of Kaun Banega Crorepati. He set to campaigned on very, very secular campaign promises. And this is something that Shashi Tharoor in one of his interviews said, that if the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to expand in the south, then it will have to change not only what it promises in its agenda, but it'll have to come with a completely different agenda, because what works in the north will not work in the south. So if the BJP wants to expand in the south, then it will have to change as a party. Do you concur with that?
Obviously, you should, because the local conditions and the local population. See, India is such a diverse country. You can't afford to have one policy across the country. Especially Kerala, which is known as a God's own country because of the natural beauty of the place. Has a lot of minorities. It has 20% Christians, 20% Muslims, and it's a multi-cultural state, but which is brought together. They live in harmony with the Hindus. All of them follow the Hindu traditions, whether it's the Christians or Muslims, and you see all of them performing Onam. Onam is traditionally a Hindu festival, but you'll find even the Muslim families and Christian families participating in there. So this is the kind of state that it is. So they will not like any kind of a discrimination done on the basis of caste, religion, and see, as long as BJP can bring about those changes, it will find acceptability in a state like Kerala.
Absolutely, indeed. Do continue to stay on with us, Mr. R.K. Upadhyay. So this is going to be a pretty long evening. The swearing-in ceremony has now gone on for 2 long hours. We've had 30 cabinet ministers who've been sworn in. There'll be 24 states that will be represented. This is what is being said. And a total of 72 council of ministers is what has to be sworn in what is going to be the biggest council of ministers of the Narendra Modi government. And my colleague Dharamjot Kaur is still with us. Dharamjot, you covered the elections as they unfolded in Delhi. The Bharatiya Janata Party managed to sweep all 7 seats there. Have you seen any of the BJP's candidates from Delhi who's been a part of this council of ministers?
Well, not yet, Saleh. In fact, when the list came out for the candidates representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, we saw the BJP replace 6 out of the 7 candidates on that list this time. And only Manoj Tiwari was the constant name from the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. We also saw the daughter of former Union Minister Sushma Swaraj, enter and make her political debut, Bansuri Swaraj, that we're talking about. But none of these faces we've been seeing in the fray at the moment, Saleh. In fact, none of these faces who won by a significant margin and swept the elections in the national capital, have been sworn in till now. And if speculation is anything to go by, they're probably not even on the list at the moment. How that unfolds in terms of smaller ministries for the state and other portfolios, that remains to be seen. But as of now, mum's the word as far as Delhi's candidates are concerned, Saleh.
Very interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Dharamjot Kaur, for joining us and getting us those details there. So the ceremony for the swearing of the Council of Ministers still continues. This is a big cabinet, 72 ministers. Remember, there is a cap of the number of Council of Ministers that you can have in a government. That cap is 15% of the strength of the Lok Sabha. So in a 543-seat Lok Sabha, the number of Council of Ministers you can have is capped at 81. The Narendra Modi government is expected to swear in 72 members of the Council of Ministers. It is a huge, huge cabinet that Narendra Modi is, of course, coming in largely for accommodating his allies. The JDS party with just 2 seats is, of course, getting a plum posting within the cabinet by the looks of it. This is a ceremony that has now gone on for well over 2 long hours now. It remains to be seen as to who else, of course, features in this cabinet, which will have 30 cabinet ministers. There'll be 72 council of ministers, and 24 states of India will be represented. This is what is unfolding at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Let's dip in and listen to what's being said there.
अपने कर्तव्यों का समयंक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप में संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगा।